Hello, and welcome to our channel, a nexus for the inquisitive and perpetually curious. Here, you'll uncover a universe of knowledge that spans everyday life and beyond.
Welcome, curious minds, to another fascinating deep dive. Today, we're unpacking something really fundamental. So fundamental, actually, we barely think about it. The names of our calendar months. You might be surprised there's an incredible amount of history hidden right there. It's like a time capsule, really, preserving stories from ancient civilizations.
It really is.
Now, this deep dive is based on a captivating post originally published on the Perpetually Curious Facebook page. That's been our guide, helping us understand these historical origins. So yeah, let's unpack this piece of history.
It's true. What feels so totally familiar actually holds layers of cultural, religious, even, political narratives. Our mission today is to dig into the origins of each month's name and sort of trace how our modern calendar, the one you use every single day, really evolved from these ancient roots.
Okay.
It's quite a journey through time, culture, and, humanity's ongoing quest to make sense of the passage of days.
So if we're unwrapping this time capsule, where do we even begin? Is there like a specific starting point for these names?
Well, to really get a handle on our month names, we have to start with the early Roman calendar. That was really the foundational system, kind of the blueprint for much of what we use today.
Okay, Rome it is then. Let's start with January. What's the story there? I mean, beyond just being the first month on our calendars now.
Right. So January, or Januarius in Latin, it's named after Janus.
Janus.
Yeah, the Roman god of beginnings and transitions. And what's really iconic about Janus is how he's shown, with two faces.
Two faces.
One looking forward and one looking backward. It's this beautiful symbol for the passage of time, that whole duality of endings and the promise of new beginnings. It perfectly sets the tone for the start of a new year, doesn't it?
That duality, yeah, that really does set a symbolic tone for a new year.
Yeah.
Okay, so from beginnings, what about February? What kind of themes does its name evoke?
February, or Februarius, finds its roots in Febua. It was a Roman festival, all about purification and cleansing. The Latin word februm literally means purification. So this was a time dedicated to rituals, cleaning, renewal, preparing for the new cycle of spring. A month of deep kind of spiritual cleansing.
Interesting. So preparing yourself before the real new start, and after February's introspection, we move into March, which feels quite different.
Oh, March, or Martius, definitely pivots to a different theme. Completely different. It's named for Mars.
The god of war.
Exactly, the Roman god of war. He was highly revered for his valor, his strength. He's the Roman counterpart to the Greek god Ares, basically.
Okay.
But what's crucial to remember is that in the early Roman calendar, March was actually considered the first month of the year.
The first, really?
Yeah, which makes perfect sense when you think about it. It was the time when military campaigns would start up again after the winter, so it signified new beginnings, action. Imagine being a Roman citizen, maybe a farmer or a soldier.
Yeah.
March truly meant new year, new beginnings, time to get going.
March is the start of the year. Wow, that really shifts your perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, after March's boldness, what about April? It always feels a bit gentler, more blossoming.
April, or Aprilis, yeah, it carries a bit more mystery in its origin, which is kind of part of its charm, I think. There are two main theories. One suggests it comes from aperiere, a Latin word meaning to open.
To open, like flowers opening.
Exactly. Symbolizing the blossoming of flowers that just bursts forth in spring. It fits perfectly, right?
It does.
The other possibility connects it to Aphrodite.
The Greek goddess.
Yes, the Greek goddess of love and beauty. Her Etruscan name, Apru, could have been the inspiration. It shows that deep cultural exchange happening between Greece and Rome.
Two beautiful possibilities for April then. Okay, what about May?
May, or Maius, is named after Maya. She was a revered Greek goddess.
Greek again.
Yep.
Strongly associated with fertility and growth. Now, Maya was later sort of assimilated into Roman mythology and identified with Bona Dea, who was the Roman goddess of fertility. So this month really symbolizes spring, nurturance, and it highlights again that interconnectedness of Greek and Roman cultures shaping our calendar.
Fascinating. And then June, the ever-popular month for weddings, right?
That's the one. June, or Junius, is named for Juno.
Queen of the gods.
The Roman queen of the gods, yes.
Yeah.
And also the goddess of marriage and childbirth. Juno is a perfect parallel to the Greek goddess Hera. Both embodies those ideals of womanhood, matrimonial harmony. So it's really no surprise that June has been seen as an auspicious, A good month for weddings and family celebrations for so long.
Right, that tradition makes sense now. So we've journeyed through months named after gods, goddesses, festivals. But it feels like there's a shift happening around here. Did powerful human figures or events also leave their mark?
You've noticed a very important transition there. Yes, absolutely. Take July, for instance. Originally, it was called Quintilis.
Quintilis, meaning fifth month in Latin. Because remember, the year started in March.
Ah, right. Fifth.
But it was famously renamed July, or Julius, in honor of Julius Caesar.
The Julius Caesar.
The one and only, renowned Roman general, statesman. This change happened after his really significant reforms to the Roman calendar. It was a huge contribution that left a lasting legacy on how we measure time.
Wow. Okay. And then August follows a similar pattern, doesn't it?
Precisely. August was formerly Sextilis.
Sixth month.
Exactly, sixth month. It was renamed August in honor of Emperor Augustus.
The first emperor.
The very first Roman emperor, yes. His reign ushered in that period of, unprecedented peace known as the Pax Romana.
The Roman peace.
Right. A powerful era they clearly wanted to immortalize in the calendar itself.
So the first 6 months, basically, named after deities or festivals, and then 2 named after these incredibly powerful Roman leaders. What about the rest? September, October, November, December. Their names seem different, almost mathematical.
That's a crucial observation. They are different. September, for instance, comes straight from the Latin septem, meaning 7.
7.
And this name tells us something key about the calendar's original structure. Since that early Roman calendar started in March, September was, in fact, the 7th month. Its name preserves that original numbering. It's like a direct link, a little fossil from ancient history right there in our modern calendar.
So it's a numerical relic, and October.
Same idea.
Same idea.
Right.
October comes from octo,
8.
meaning 8 in Latin. Following the same logic, it was the 8th month in that early Roman calendar, again, reflecting that ancient structure.
And November, I'm guessing 9.
You got it. November derives from novem, meaning 9. It was the 9th month in the original Roman calendar, another testament to the enduring legacy of Rome's early timekeeping.
And finally, December must be 10. December comes from decem, meaning 10. It was the 10th and final month in that original Roman calendar, before January and February were eventually added to the beginning. It marked the end of the yearly cycle in that ancient calendar.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. We've seen these names, how the year started in March, the numbers. But how did this setup, this older calendar, transform into the consistent 12-month system we rely on today?
Right. That's the next big part of the story, the evolution of the Roman calendar itself. It's a journey through timekeeping that really shows humanity's persistent quest for accuracy. The very early Roman calendar, the one attributed to King Romulus, was quite different from ours.
How so?
Well, it began in March, as we said. It only had 10 months, and it comprised just 304 days.
Only 304. That's way off.
Way off. And crucially, it was lunar-based, and it didn't even really account for the entire winter period. There was just this gap, which, as you can imagine, led to a significant disconnect between the calendar and the actual solar year.
So they just kind of ignored winter.
In the calendar. That sounds inconvenient, especially for farmers.
Exactly. It created real problems with seasonal alignment. For agriculture, for festivals, all sorts of things. That's where King Numa Pompilius, Romulus' successor, apparently stepped in. He recognized the need for reform.
Okay.
And he's credited with adding Januarius, January and February to the beginning of the calendar.
So that's when they came in.
That's when they came in. This increased the number of months to 12, stretched the year to 355 days. It aligned it more closely with lunar cycles. But even with these changes, inconsistencies remained. The calendar still often fell out of sync with the seasons. It required these complicated, sometimes arbitrary adjustments by priests to try and keep it on track.
So still not quite the reliable system we have. What did all this mean for the consistency we rely on today? How did we finally get to a calendar that truly matched the solar year?
This brings us to a really crucial transition, the move to solar timekeeping. And that's largely thanks to the Julian and then the Gregorian calendars. Right, Caesar again.
Julius Caesar, yes. He was the one who introduced the Julian calendar. He recognized the urgent need for a more accurate, predictable system. This monumental reform took effect on January 1st, 45 BCE, He shifted the Roman calendar from being primarily lunar-based to being solar-based.
Okay.
He standardized the year to 365 days, and importantly, he added a leap day every fourth year.
The leap year.
The leap year. This wasn't just about tidiness, it was a societal revolution, really. Imagine farmers finally knowing reliably when to plant, sailors more confident in navigation, an empire coordinating armies across vast distances. Caesar's calendar didn't just align days, you could argue it helped unify a world under a single, predictable rhythm. It laid the groundwork for global trade, governance, you name it.
So Caesar basically gave us the blueprint for our modern year length. But then we eventually got the Gregorian calendar. What was its role? What needed fixing?
Well, the Julian calendar was a huge improvement, but it wasn't perfect. Its calculation of the year was just slightly too long compared to the actual solar year, only by about 11 minutes, but it adds up over centuries.
Ah, okay.
So, the Gregorian calendar was a further refinement, introduced under Pope Gregory XIII in 1582. It was also solar-based, but it adjusted the leap year rules slightly. Basically, it skips the leap day in years divisible by 100, unless they are also divisible by 400. It sounds complicated, but this adjustment made the calendar year much closer to the actual solar year, which is approximately 365.2425 days.
Right. Fine-tuning it.
Exactly. This seemingly small adjustment was critical. It ensured that seasonal events like the equinoxes and solstices, those points marking spring, summer, autumn, winter, occurred at consistent calendar times each year, maintaining that alignment. And what's truly remarkable, through all of this adding months, switching from lunar to solar, refining leap years, the names of the months remained rooted in their ancient Roman and, in some cases, Greek origins.
It's incredible, isn't it? How much history is just packed into those names we use every day without a second thought. Let's maybe talk about the broader impact of this whole journey through timekeeping. It's clearly not just about naming conventions.
No, it's far more profound than that. What's fascinating here is how cultures blend and influence each other over time. While our month names are predominantly Roman, we can't overlook those notable Greek contributions we talked about.
Like Aphrodite and Maya.
Exactly. And the clear parallels between Roman and Greek gods like Juno and Hera or Mars and Ares. This blend really showcases the deep interconnectedness of ancient civilizations. It shows how cultural exchange profoundly shapes our world, even in something as fundamental as how we track time.
And this evolution itself, from lunar to solar timekeeping, what does that tell us about humanity's journey?
That's a great question. I think the evolution from lunar to solar systems wasn't just about getting more accurate, though that was key. It also helped unify societies under a common shared understanding of time. This progression reflects humanity's growing knowledge of astronomy, obviously, but also perhaps our innate desire to harmonize our measures of time in the natural world with the Earth's actual orbit around the sun. It shows a fundamental human drive to understand and order our existence.
And while our Gregorian calendar is the international standard now, it's important to remember it's not the only way humanity has tracked time, is it?
Absolutely not. That's a vital point. While the Gregorian calendar has become the standard for much of the world, it's worth noting that other ancient calendars are still very much alive. Think of the Hindu Panchang, the Chinese lunisolar calendar, the Islamic calendar, the Hebrew calendar, among others. They have incredibly rich histories, often much older than the Gregorian system.
And they're still used.
Widely used. In cultural and religious contexts today, they often operate on entirely different principles, some lunar, some lunisolar. They serve as powerful reminders of the diverse ways human societies have approached the whole concept of time. There's no single right way, historically or culturally speaking. And actually, to explore more topics like this, looking at different cultures and histories, you can always follow the Perpetually Curious on Facebook.
Good reminder. The diversity is really something to think about.
It is. And it all circles back to this legacy. These ancient origins continue to influence our contemporary understanding of time and culture, even if we don't always realize it. What's fascinating here is that each time we refer to a month by name, January, February, March, we are, in a way, connecting with stories and traditions that span millennia. Our calendar is more than just a system for tracking days. It's a reflection of humanity's journey through history.
That's a powerful thought. This deep dive has truly revealed the unexpected depth and history embedded in something as everyday as our calendar. It's easy to just see July on the page and not think twice, right? But now, maybe you know a bit more about the general who literally reshaped time for his empire. Perhaps next time you mark a date or flip a calendar page, you'll take just a moment. Consider how those ancient gods, those Roman emperors, those cultural customs, how they continue to shape our daily lives through these enduring names. Maybe you'll feel that powerful connection across millennia. Keep being curious, everyone, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.
Thank you for watching. We invite you to explore our channel, where you will find captivating content across a wide range of topics, from everyday wonders to engaging subjects like science, arts, nature, history, technology, and more. If you enjoyed this episode, we would sincerely appreciate your support. Please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, and turning on the bell for notifications. For those wishing to support us further, you may consider one of the following options. By tapping the Super Thanks button on YouTube, or through Buy Me a Coffee using the link in the description, or by scanning the QR code shown on screen. Your support is truly appreciated. Thank you. Before you go, take a moment to explore the related content here. You might just find your next favorite video. Thank you for watching.